Maybe Vettel's gonna get a fucking haircut in his retirement.
He probably won't be on camera anymore, so maybe.
Guy looks
that
so
comb
bad.
over is
It's
like,
horrible. It's not even like it's a good comb over. You know what it reminds me of? Is like beans, fucking cat. It reminds me of the guy in The Simpsons, or Homer, where he has like
the guy in The Simpsons.
Three
You
strands.
mean Homer Simpson?
Yeah.
Homer
Oh, the
Simpson.
big guy.
It reminds me of
The
Yeah.
big guy. I think he's the main character.
The guy, Homer. That guy. Yeah, it reminds me of him because he has like 3 strands of hair. That's
It's wispy.
Exactly what Sebastian Vettel's hair reminds me of.
He, I saw it today. Like they had like the pre-warm up, like drive along the track, whatever. He had like a headband on, like one of those like thin elastic like headband things like around his head to like keep his hair back. But it's on his forehead. It was like right here on his forehead, not blocking any hair.
Is he a dad? He's a dad, right?
I think he has 2 kids or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's honestly, I think it's going to be good for him to retire. I think his time was just up. I think he wanted to give Aston Martin 1 more year just to see where, their race pace was in terms of last year. And clearly it's not.
I
had big hopes for him this year though.
Me too.
I thought Aston Martin was going to be definitely up there with all their new their new facility and
money.
everything. What's that?
With daddy's money.
Yeah, with dad's money. Dad. Do you think that Lance Stroll on merit actually deserves to be in Formula 1?
Nope.
He did good today. Actually, he didn't finish in the points today, but he did. He drove well today.
Yeah.
We're talking about today was Spa, by the way.
I drove on the 412. Doesn't mean I deserve a seat.
I know. It's so tough.
He does not deserve a seat, 100%. How's Hulkenberg not have a seat and he does? Or Van Dorn?
Well, Hulkenberg, even when he was there, he didn't like do that good. He had like a lot of promise, but he didn't do that good.
No. That's true. Yeah.
Like he was okay, but I don't feel like he. And we gotta mind too, like Stroll was in a Williams for like a long time too before his jump to Racing Point.
Was it a jump?
Alpine.
Racing
Well,
dot.
not jump. His
Racing dot.
slide in, like his money drop, whatever it was, into Racing Point. But I'm saying like he wasn't in a very good car for that long. And Hulkenberg, he was in a Renault for a long time, but that's when Renault was still somewhat competitive.
Yeah.
Like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And he still didn't really do much. He never got a podium.
No. I think he's the only driver, the longest reigning driver F1 history to have a podium.
Yeah.
Something like that. Something
So,
crazy like that.
he didn't do that good.
Yeah.
Well, he's definitely the best Canadian driver that we have on the grid because Nicholas Latifi.
Better than
is
Latifi.
just
Yeah.
Absolute. Just terrible. I don't even know words. I don't know how to say.
Even after today's race, too.
He seems like a nice guy, but he's just.
I think he's more likable than Lance Stroll.
definitely.
Oh, big time.
I fucking want to.
I think Latifi's more marketable and just like seems like a better person.
Nicholas.
Yeah, he seems like a humble, nice guy. Like, he's happy to be there.
He does, yeah. But I feel like he's almost like starstruck by the moment that he's a Formula One driver.
That could be true too.
He just like he's just so like, oh my god, like I'm here.
Yeah, but they're
I'm
loaded
racing
too.
A fast car.
Yeah, they are.
They're
He's
loaded
just-
too.
Yeah, Safina and
Lavazza. They have
Doralton.
Yeah, they like
those are all
import
fucking
from Toronto.
Latifi. Yeah, I know.
import exports.
Yeah.
The Italian
We are
import
in the
export
exporting
business.
business.
Yeah. I think
So-
Maple Leaf Farms, like the meat company.
Yeah.
Like
I think Stroll's, they own that too.
Stroll owns that.
Oh, it's dad
Not
owns
his
that.
dad. Yeah, his daddy.
Dad.
He's got his hand in a lot of stuff. Man.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot going. Doesn't he have a stake in Mercedes too or something?
I think the way he
Or-
got rich wasn't it like he basically brought all the brand name clothing like Ralph Lauren, Tommy
he brought
Hilfiger,
it to Canada.
brought that kind of into Canada, like made that like a big thing here,
Oh, wow.
like selling it. I don't know, but I think he had something to do with that.
He's like a true billionaire.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I'm sure like on paper that's what we'll see, but there's probably some like other things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, where Lawrence Stroll got all of his money. But bringing back to Vettel, like he had a hell of a career. Like you can't say he came in the sport and left without making a mark. Like he was a hell of a driver.
Yeah. I wish we had like credentials in Formula One so we could just post like clips of all of his great achievements.
I can maybe put something in there. I'll find something.
To see where he came in, to now
Yeah.
see where he's leaving, it's like
Yeah.
a young 20-year-old kid,
Yeah.
youngest ever
World champion.
world champion, yeah.
Up until Verstappen.
At the time, right? Or does he still have that?
I think he still has it.
Does he still have that record?
Yeah.
I think the youngest driver to ever win a race.
Here we go. Check the fact.
He was the youngest driver to win a race. Can you believe that Lando Norris is 20 years old? Or 22?
22, yeah.
22 years old. That's insane. And he's McLaren's number 1 guy.
Well, he's same age. No, Leclerc's a year older. Leclerc's my age.
Leclerc's
He's
a
25.
Oh, he's a 97?
I think so.
Okay.
Could be wrong. He might be 97 or 99.
They're all pretty young.
98.
Verstappen was the youngest driver to win a race at 18 years and 228 days.
With Toro Rosso, right?
That was to win a race.
Guy doesn't even have his fucking driver's license.
Yeah, he's barely out of high school, and then it was Vettel after him.
Quickly to that, when he won his first race, he wasn't eligible to drive in Holland in a street car, like a normal. What do you call them? Street car, right?
A street
Like
car,
a
just a regular
automobile.
car, an automobile.
Yeah.
Automobile.
An automobile.
And he a normal car, not an F1 car, a normal car.
Yeah.
He wasn't even young enough, old enough to drive a regular car.
He didn't have his driver's license.
How is that? And he's winning
Yeah,
races.
I know, it's amazing. It's hilarious. He's probably the best freaking driver on the roads, to be honest with you.
And to go to Frankie's point, Vettel was the youngest world champion at 23 years and 133
Wow.
days.
23 years old.
In
world
2010, when he won, he was 23 years old.
Look how young he is here.
I know. And then
Oh
Lewis
my
is actually
God.
second. He was 23 years and 300 days old, so just behind him.
Wow.
There you
I
go.
mean, wait,
Lewis's birthday's in January, though.
how many days was it, Andrew?
For who?
Between Vettel and
300 from Lewis and 133 from Vettel.
okay, so 266. No,
7.
267. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
Wow, man.
that's crazy.
That's pretty.
That's young.
Yeah, that is.
Max is 24. So I mean, still like young as shit. Like
24 years old.
young kids still making their mark in like the biggest sport in the world, like worldwide sport, basically.
Max is your age then. He's 97, right?
Yeah, Max is my age. I actually know him pretty well.
You guys are tight. You guys throw a few back.
So, Alonso's replacing Vettel, though,
Yeah.
which is
Surprising.
massive news in
Yeah.
Formula 1, to be honest with you.
I think
Taking kind of a downgrade.
that was a
from
bigger
Al-
shock than Vettel even leaving. To be honest, like
Yeah.
They announced it, like you were saying, Frankie, off camera. You're saying they announced it so fast. Like Vettel retirement, boom, Fernando Alonso's racing for Aston Martin.
it was really quick. It was like leading into Hungary. Obviously, I think the Vettel announcement came out Thursday, and then I actually saw a pre-race interview with Alonso before this race, before Spa. They were basically asking like, how did it all take place? Like, how did it happen? And he said that the announcement came out from Vettel on Thursday via his Instagram or whatever it was.
And this was at Hungary.
This is at Hungary, beginning of August, and then that night he got a phone call from Aston Martin.
And then they made it official on like the Monday after.
Yeah, so I think it was like Thursday night he got the phone call. They went over paperwork. He's like, within 5 minutes they convinced me.
Wow.
He's like, I had my list of like demands of requirements, is what he said. He's like, they met basically all of them, and then he said, okay, let's get this going. And then Monday he signed. So within 24 hours of Vettel retiring, basically they had Alonso lined up from Alpine.
How much
That's
money do you give
so
me?
sneaky.
Oh, that's got to be a ton of fucking money.
Like nothing like
For them?
the top drivers, but like
I don't know. But you know what I like about Racing Point or Aston Martin is they've always in the past even they've had a very experienced driver paired with a younger driver. Paired with like a guy that's still, he's experienced enough to understand racing. It's not like he's like a Mick Schumacher coming in, Yuki Tsunoda, or a Zhou. But you have Lance Stroll being the side guy for Vettel. Now you're going to have Lance Stroll being the side guy for Alonso. But in the past, they had Sergio Perez, who was 9 years, 10-year veteran already at Racing Point. So I think that the team does that well in that regard. Whereas Ferrari was notorious for doing, older drivers. They didn't want any of the younger kids in. But we already talked about Ferrari today.
so what do you think his demands were? I can't think of any demands he could have.
Well, it's gotta be a cash demand. Like
money,
his salary.
Obviously. Yeah.
Like, here's my number, hit it. He probably wants to have like a lot of say in the team, because even though even when he was exiting McLaren, like, he had like carte blanche basically at McLaren, like to say what the fuck he wanted to do.
So,
and even like when he came back, like it was like, did he come back to McLaren? No.
When he came back, he went to Alpine.
It was Alpine right when he came back from retirement.
Yeah.
It
was last
year.
year.
It was Renault.
That was last year. It was Alpine last year.
Yeah, but did he come back before that?
No, he wasn't at Renault. It was Ricardo and Hulkenberg.
Oh, okay. Sainz at McLaren. Sainz was at McLaren. Okay, yeah, you're right. So when he came back to Alpine, like I thought that was gonna be like his baby. Like he's going back to Renault, which is like where it all started for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he was gonna have again like he can have complete say with what goes on in the team at Alpine. He's gonna carry it. The L plan, the whole thing was gonna happen, and then it's like I'm there for 2 years and I'm gonna bounce.
Yeah, like discount the L plan.
Like
later.
that. Like Alpine's got to say like what the fuck at that point too. Because like
So what happens there? These drivers switch. Drivers switch yearly, right? Here, like, A goes to B, goes to C, goes to D. They all switch.
Yeah.
Is there something in the contract where they can't tell? Like now that Alonso's going from Alpine to Aston Martin, what if he tells them all? Not secrets, but like all their stuff.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you know
That's
what?
why F1's so
maybe like a
fucking
breach of
sketchy.
confidentiality or something.
Yeah, like hey, like they're running this type of. I don't
You
know.
know
I don't know what they could.
So I remember there was some issue when Albon who was a Red Bull driver, and he went over to Williams to be a Mercedes driver, right?
Yep.
So I think Toto and them, they were trying to get Albon to tell him obviously all like the Red Bull
Secrets.
and stuff and what they do, but he's like, no, he's like, I'm not like. I'm still like faithful to Red Bull 100%. That's where they brought me up. I was a junior academy Red Bull driver.
Yep.
You're loyal to it. I think honestly, it's like golf. That's the gentleman's game of it, right? I would think.
I don't know.
You think that they're going there?
I'm just
Maybe you know what they'll do is they'll bring not hints but they'll bring just from their experience. You know, like if Lewis Hamilton went and he was racing now for say he went to McLaren or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just metaphorically, whatever. So he goes and he's like, oh, we should do this. We should do this. We did this here. Just maybe try this or something.
Yeah.
And that's what Andrew says with the carte blanche thing where he has a lot of say.
Yeah.
Right. So I would think the drivers would do something like that as opposed to like, oh yeah, this was like literally everything. Make the car this car.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't think they're gonna sit down and like give an entire like
List.
duotang.
Well, but they don't know either.
One of my favorite words, duotang. They're gonna give a whole duotang of like this is exactly what we did at Alpine. Like this is our entire 85 page like write up of what we did. Here you go. He's not gonna do that, but he is gonna say, hey, like this is what worked for us. If we have an issue coming up where we go to Hungary, we go wherever there's a lot of downforce issue, this is what we did to tweak the car here. Because I mean, he's getting positive results at Alpine. Like he's killing the game at Alpine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that car today at Spa, it was a rocket ship.
It was.
Like, he had a speedy car all weekend compared to Aston Martin, who again, like Vettel finished in the points this race, which was nice to see. But I mean, Stroll is I think 16th in the driver standings.
Yeah.
With like only 4 points. Like you're going to now go join that team with the guys getting 4 points.
Yeah.
Where he's consistently fighting with his own teammate for 6th, 7th place in the drivers now. So he's obviously going to take a step down to Aston Martin, but he's going to help them become better.
It had to be money though.
But he'll have more.
It had to be money.
It had a lot to do with money.
It had to be. It had to be because why would you leave in that situation?
A lot with money where it was Renault couldn't pay him enough to stay with them, probably.
Maybe. Was
Like,
this contract
maybe
up
Renault
next
was
year?
saying this
No.
is outrageous. That's an outrageous number that they're giving you.
Was he locked in with Alpine for next year too?
Oh no, I think 2-year deal.
Yeah.
Last year and this year.
Okay, so he was gonna be a free agent
But,
anyways.
yeah. So I mean, I would assume that he went back to Renault and was like, "Hey guys, like this is the deal that they offered me. This is what I wanted. Can you guys come back with this?" And Alpine was probably just like, "We can't compete with that."
Yeah, maybe
It's
that's
not
what
in
it
the
was.
budget.
That sounds more believable. It's just like the fact that it happened so bang from when Vettel retirement came out.
I know.
It was literally like 3 or 4 days later.
You know what though? You could kind of feel that Aston Martin and Vettel were kind of just drifting away. I feel like Vettel kind of wanted to do his own thing, and he didn't really. Towards the end of last year, even where he saw that the car wasn't as competitive as they promised and they thought, because Racing Point was very competitive in 2020 and 2019,
Take
right?
Mercedes.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
big Mercedes, exactly. So maybe he thought, he's like, okay, well, I'll be racing against Ferraris, the team that I left, right? Well, obviously it didn't work out like that, but I think, like this year you could just kind of feel like Vettel was getting to the end. It kind of seemed like it was more of a chore for him
To be there.
as opposed to like
He wants to
the
be there.
previous years where he's like all hip, like ready to go and excited and everything. A lot of stuff that's happening in the world. He's, as we know, he's super
Philanthropic.
environmentalist.
Yeah.
He likes saving the whales and the dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
and the trees and the rainforests.
He's done a lot. He's had a lot more freedom, I think, at Aston Martin. He's had a lot more freedom.
Oh, if there's a Ferrari doing this, he would have been shut up so quick.
That's what I mean.
100%.
Oh my god!
Because under Ferrari, you're
Oh.
under,
Maybe that's why they didn't
watching
see eye to
eye,
eye, right? Because then he got to this point in his life where he's like, I'm a philosophizer, and I'm just
Yeah.
everything I
Want
can
to
do.
plant trees and now you got to race.
Well, I mean, good for him.
And the
Like he's using his identity, right? Like,
Oh, yeah,
we've seen Lewis do it for years and like his platforms and everything. So Vettel's kind of doing the same thing.
That's their they're activists.
Yeah.
almost, right?
I mean, they're taking their celebrity status to like do good for the world, which is, I mean, go ahead. I love it.
He was really like Ukraine, like super outspoken.
He did
about
some
Ukraine.
like protests in like Miami too, like about like the water level rising and stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
climate change.
So I mean, I totally give him like 100%, you know, the doubt of like whatever he wants to do. I don't think he has anything to prove in the sport anymore. I mean, he's done so much for himself.
The youngest world champion.
Yeah, done so much for himself. So much like
Four in
done
a
so
row.
much in the sport, where like, if he hangs him up, like he's gonna go like if there's a Hall of Fame, he's like definitely #1 Hall of Fame guy, like legendary.
Yeah,
like he's gonna go down in the talks of the greats with like Hamilton and Senna and Schumacher. Like we're not gonna forget Vettel either.
No,
definitely a top 10 driver for sure.
I think another big news is that Ricardo isn't going to be driving for McLaren next year. And
it's a sad day.
This is okay. I always said, and I know it was different, but I always said that Ricardo should have stayed with Red Bull and just bit the bullet. He would have had a better chance at winning a world championship in a Red Bull than if he went to Renault and if he jumped to McLaren.
That was a bad
He should have
That
stayed
run
at
was
Red Bull,
fucking-
and that was all his decision.
Yeah.
He wanted to move. He wanted out of Renault. And of course, the year that he goes to Renault, Red Bull cuts its ties with Renault. No more engines.
Yeah.
Coming from Renault, go to Honda. Honda light it up.
Yeah.
And Ricardo's just seeing his old team just climb, and now he's like, that was my chance of winning a world championship. Now he could be fighting for a position at Haas or Williams.
Ooh. When you
Which
put
is
like
such
that,
a demotion. Like that's realistically, if you look at all the driver
I know.
lineups for next year.
So, who's the better driver, Perez or Ricardo?
Ooh. I think they're two different driving styles.
So, they're very not similar, but they both won races.
Yeah.
Right? So, there's no difference between
They
what
both won
Ricardo
Monaco.
Yeah. There's no difference to what Perez is doing now to what Ricardo could have done.
No, exactly.
I mean-
But I'm saying from a Ricardo standpoint, for him, he's
Yeah.
probably like shooting himself in the foot. Like,
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
why did I
maybe.
leave that team? I had it. Like he had it made.
Oh, I Red Bull? Oh.
I think it's because at that point in his career, he was still, I mean, as hungry as he is now, I think, to get wins and results, but like he was younger. He was
Yeah.
like he saw more opportunity like, back in those days, like for himself to like become world champion back then.
Yeah.
And I think back then the team, without saying it, made it very clear that Verstappen's like our #1 guy, and Ricardo probably felt hard done by that.
Yeah.
Because
big
like I
time.
mean, Ricardo's like older than Verstappen by substantial amount. He's like 6 or 7 years older than Verstappen is. He's been in the sport longer. He was getting results at Red Bull. Like he was killing the game. I mean, him and Max were going like toe to toe for a couple times. Like,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
like I mean, I think Ricardo won like 4 or 5 races in one season before. Like,
How many wins does he have? 6?
he's got more than that. He might be in double digits.
9?
I think he might be like 11 or
He's at more than Bottas, I don't think.
no.
I don't think.
But yeah, I mean,
8, yeah, it was 8 wins.
8 wins.
That's it.
Ricardo?
Yeah.
I feel like he had way more.
But they were congested though. Like they were. I mean, other than Monza happening last year in 2021, his previous 7 wins were within like 2 or 3 years. Like, they were tight. They weren't like big gapped out.
And that's when Red Bull was competitive, but that was still the Mercedes had a stronghold on the sport, right?
So I just think that that showed his competitiveness, right? It showed like how like eager, how hungry he was, and that even at that point, they still said like Verstappen's still like our guy, without saying he's our guy. So he's saying, what else can I fucking do here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna break away. I'm gonna make my own decision. Hindsight, that's a terrible choice by him.
Yeah, I'll go be the number
Like
one
we just
guy at Renault,
we just all agreed on.
right? And then he goes to McLaren. He's not even number one guy at McLaren.
Which I thought, man, Ricardo's my guy too. So it's so
is your
tough
guy.
because it's like I want the best for him. I think he's a hell of a driver. His personality is like one of the best on the grid. He's one of the most marketable.
He is.
Faces.
He's a great face for Formula One.
Yeah, and
Even on Drive to Survive, like I'm pretty sure that like 6 episodes were just strictly.
oh, he's incredible. He's got the American market by the balls too. Like
Yo, he
Americans,
does big
Americans
time.
love him.
Yeah.
His second home is in LA and like Arizona and stuff like that. So like
drives a Ford Raptor.
yeah, he soaks it up when he goes there, and it's awesome for the sport. Again, a huge like ambassador for it in North America, but for whatever reason, his driving ability just isn't suiting to what he used to be. It's not like the car he's getting, whatever it is. And I mean, I feel for the guy because they're trying at McLaren right now. And I mean, during the broadcast today at Spa, they were saying how like when they parted ways, when they finally made the decision to do so, it wasn't like he was leaving them, they're leaving him. It was very mutual because I think what they came down to was Andreas Seidel said something like, we tried to like meet with Daniel. We tried to like do everything we possibly can to get him into the best car possible. It's just not working. And he's like, we understand that. Like we take some blame. He's like, he understands that. Like he also takes some blame. But it's very mutual. It's not like he's just like, oh my God, like this car is terrible, I can't drive it. He's just like, sorry guys, like I didn't have it today. Yeah. Or they'll say, sorry Daniel, like the car didn't have it today, like whatever it is. Yeah. And so it's just kind of instead of trying to do that for another 18 months, we're just gonna cut ties now because we can't go on like it. It's depressing.
Yeah,
it's really depressing.
It is, and I think the money being lost is like they're putting so much money in the car to try and make it work for one guy, where it sucks that it has to be Daniel Ricciardo, because if it was anyone else in the same situation, I'm sure they would. It would be, you got to go.
Yeah,
it'd be very different. It'd be dealt with very differently.
It would be.
It's a respect thing, right?
It is 100%. And he's obviously like you were saying, Andrew. It's not one or the other. It's very mutual. So it kind of goes to show like the character of Ricciardo, not blaming and saying, "Oh, the car's shit today." Like, yeah, this is, how some drivers get like bent out of shape. Well, he's just like, guys, I just didn't have it today. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Like, we'll just keep going. But
keep working on
it. It's gonna be weird. Like, I can't picture Formula One without Ricciardo.
Yeah.
And that's a disgusting possibility for next year.
They keep asking him, like, are you going to be back next year? And he hasn't really given a hard answer.
He did. Yeah. I did hear in the press conference. I was watching the post-race or the pre-race press conference. He was saying they talked about even retirement for him. We're taking a year off. So of racing in general.
I think it'd be a mistake.
He said I won't race anywhere else unless it's Formula One. Mm-hmm. So say he doesn't sign with a team next year, he's not going to do like Formula E or go to IndyCar or any of that. He's like, if I'm not in Formula One, I'm not racing at all. Like, that's going to be.
He probably love NASCAR, like the whole NASCAR circuit.
Dude, he would. Oh my God,
people would be
in
on
Texas,
his dick so
anything
much.
in the States, he would love it, dude. 100%.
You never know. He says that, but
he also said
Verstappen said he would never do IndyCar or NASCAR. He says
doesn't need to.
He doesn't want to risk his life.
Yeah. World champion.
Like, what do you mean risk your life? You fucking risk your life every Sunday.
Ricciardo too. It's like he said before, like what Frank just said. Like he said it before. Like you never know, but like he said he's gonna race next year too. Like he said he's gonna be at McLaren next year.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago. Ricciardo said he's gonna be at McLaren a couple weeks ago. Like he said he'll be there next year. Like when people asked him, like, like because you're the whole contract talk and whatever. And then a couple weeks later comes out saying like it's gonna be mutual, basically, that they're gonna part ways. It is coming out saying that McLaren is like terminating his contract. That's like
sounds bad, but it's not bad.
I guess
that's what it is. Yeah.
Zach Brown said they had to pay a hefty fund to get him.
I was gonna actually ask that.
Hefty.
I wonder how much breach that contract it is.
I don't know. He said it was like he didn't put a number on it, but Zach Brown, the CEO of McLaren,
who knows the numbers,
was like, it was a lot.
So you think his salary, let's say it's $20 million a year?
That's fucking crazy.
Let's say $20 million, because Lewis is at, I think, 30 or 40 million. Those guys are like
Max actually matched Lewis now. He's at 40 million, I think.
They're really secretive on their
They
contract.
are. Yeah, they don't really disclose how much money right.
It's from Planet F1. It says Daniel Ricciardo seeking $21 million payout from McLaren contract termination.
Well,
$21 million.
Cash, homie.
Here you
cash.
go. Boom. $21 million.
You're breaching a legal contract.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that is true.
Ricciardo's.
This is the only way that he's going to actually agree with it.
Yeah.
This is what separates F1 to all the other North American sports that we're used to. It's like,
I think the 21 million is like the Andretti IndyCar's budget for the year.
Maybe, yeah. But it's like this, like sports in North America. There's no guarantee. I don't know if there's any guarantee contracts.
Yeah, there is.
Is there for
you
NHL? I think
$7 million for 7 years, AAV.
Okay.
If you
in football, it's not.
Soccer.
No, like NFL.
American football?
Yeah, it's not like guaranteed contracts. It would be like $100 million, 65 guaranteed. There's like a $35 million window or something that you might not have to pay.
Yeah.
I think in F1 it's like you're guaranteed money. You sign this money, you're guaranteed this money no matter what.
That's kind of sick though.
So it's not like he just gets traded and his contract goes somewhere. It's like now we're just gonna cut you out, but you're still
You're
entitled
still
to that
gonna
money,
get all your money.
which is fucking crazy.
Who's gonna go? Well, we said maybe Gasly.
I was thinking.
Yeah, so
we
who's gonna
talked
take the
about
seat?
this a little bit at the podcast.
It's not gonna be a
but-
rookie.
But I think that if
Well,
you
Oscar
had
Piastri.
Gasly go to McLaren, that would be pretty good.
I mean, like
Or Oscar Piasco,
the Piasco,
the Piasco.
the
What a little fucking twerp.
the Piastri thing was nuts. So right after the Alonso news of him going to Aston Martin, now the Alpine seat opened up.
Yep.
They said that Oscar Piastri, the reserve driver, F2 champion, not champion, F2 driver,
Mhm.
highly skilled, highly touted, talked about being there for years. I think he's going to make the next guy at Alpine.
Can we emphasize F2
F2.
because he's an F2 driver?
Oh,
F2.
yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is why he doesn't have a
He
fucking
has a
say.
race.
Oh, he's
He
still a
hasn't
kid.
raced,
He's a
He
kid.
shouldn't have a say on
He
where-
handled this poorly. I mean, he was whatever happened at Alpine. We won't know the full details, I think, but in their eyes, in the team's eyes, when Alonso left, their seat opens up. They're just going to put Piastri in there. Like
Yeah.
they're going to upgrade him. They're going to promote him. They make the announcement on Twitter
Mhm.
saying like we're officially announcing him as our next driver for next year. Twitter blows up. Congratulations. So happy for him. Blah blah blah. He comes on. He's Australian, so I think he was actually sleeping when the announcement came out. That's another part of the issue. The announcement from Alpine came out in like the middle of the night, like Australian time. So he didn't even know what happened.
boy.
So he woke up the next morning, his phone blowing the fuck up. Wakes him up, finds out what's happened. He takes himself to Twitter and says, "I basically did not allow Alpine to make this decision for me. I'm not signing with Alpine."
No, he said no. It was something.
That's what it was, Frank.
No, he said, I never signed anything with them.
I understand that without my agreement, Alpine F1 have put a press release late this afternoon that I am driving for them next year. This is wrong, and I have not signed a contract with Alpine. I will not be driving for Alpine next year.
Wow.
That
Shots
last,
fucking
What
fired.
a
that
statement.
last
I-
sentence is bold.
I will
you know what
not
though?
be driving for them.
Most people that wake up, or I would say probably everyone that wakes up and their phone's blowing up saying congratulations, you are now an official F1 driver. They're not going to say, I don't want to race for that fucking team.
That's his team.
Like, are you kidding me?
That's his team.
Yeah.
They're bringing you up.
But
They're
that's-
like I don't understand this.
it's the team that he's in.
I know.
It's not like he's not
He's
it's
wearing
not
the
like,
colors.
It's not like Haas was like, you're coming to Haas. He's like, oh, for fuck.
Yeah,
But don't forget, there's
work with Gunther, like,
there's 20 drivers in the world that race F1.
I know. And this
And
guy,
you just
this
denied
guy's
a
turning
seat?
down a seat. How do you turn down a seat when you?
Oh.
Okay, how do you even have the nerve? To be honest with you,
Yeah.
how do you have the nerve to? And you think you have the status that you can just say no, I'm not racing there.
You know what? That's
Where do you want to race then, Oscar?
that's such a bad precedent for other teams too. They see that.
Yeah, they're like, fuck this kid.
You know what? We'll go with someone else.
Doesn't even have. You gotta earn your
Like-
stripes, boy.
You know, boys had a conversation too. Like, again, say you got drafted to like any major sports.
Yeah.
Like, if you got drafted to the worst team in any of the sports, it's still drafted to the big leagues.
you're still going to the show.
You're still going to the big leagues. Yeah.
Like, you're an F2 driver. You're 21 years old. You've been driving all your life. Your end game is F1.
It's your dream.
Your
What
dream.
if you everything you've worked towards is to get an F1 seat,
And-
and now the opportunity arises, and you're just no, I don't want to race there.
What I still don't understand is like it's his team. It's his. He's from Alpine. Like he's part of
He
Alpine's
came
like
up.
crew.
He
Signed
came
them.
up with their academy.
Yeah. So like I don't understand why he was so butthurt by it. I mean I get it. Like if you didn't sign anything or you didn't talk it over, there must have been talks beforehand. Like there must have been some communication saying if Alonso leaves or if this happens, like the contingency plans. Like if this happens, we're gonna promote you. We're gonna you're gonna be our guy. Like he must have came into this season saying, hey, like we're probably gonna have you as our guy. Otmar was probably like you're gonna be like our
Or-
next driver.
Or even saying like, hey, look, Alonso's contract's up this year, so just keep
Yeah.
in mind.
Yeah,
keep in
exactly,
mind,
yeah.
Yeah.
You might have a seat this year.
Yeah.
Like is he pissed off because he was like blindsided
Yeah, but
by some great news? Like,
yeah, that's fantastic news. And he's born in 2001.
yeah, he's
The
21
guy's
years old.
21 years old.
Yeah, he's
Or
I
20
don't-
years
I
old.
don't understand.
He's 21.
What was I gonna say?
Oh,
I was gonna say, but this does not look good on his part. First of all,
No, not at all.
no.
but that's what I'm saying. A company or a team like Alpine, who has legal directors, they're a company
Yes.
would not make a statement like that. They knew, they wouldn't make a mistake like that.
Yeah,
I
I see what
think-
you're saying. So, Frankie, you're saying that it's not it's not a mistake on Alpine.
Yeah, they wouldn't make it.
You're saying that there was no like gray area. Like this was crystal cut clear that he's racing for us next.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what
Like,
you're saying.
there's no reason why Alpine made mistakes saying, "Oh, we made mistakes," tweeting that.
Yeah, they're pretty. Yeah, you're pretty. Renault is well known
Like,
in the
I-
Formula
yeah.
1 world.
I don't know who
They're
runs.
not going to be making a mistake like that.
Yeah.
I would expect a mistake like that to come from Ferrari.
Yeah, me too. So I don't know who runs these accounts, these Twitter accounts for these teams.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't
someone just got on and they're just like, "Oh, it's
Well,
okay,
maybe it was a
Oscar."
mistake.
Maybe.
If there's a
I don't know.
leak, is there a mole inside
A
the
leak?
Alpine?
Like
don't
this,
know.
I don't
In the
like.
Alpine team?
Who runs Twitter for like the major sports teams?
I
A
think I
director.
think they have like a social media.
Yeah, they
Director,
would.
yeah, something like
They
that.
would for
Right?
sure. Yeah.
It's like a whole separate team, a social media team.
Yeah.
Right? Especially for Renault. It's massive.
So someone had to tell this team, "Hey, we just signed Piastri's coming here."
Yeah.
And
I don't. Yeah. It's fucking.
like they're having talks. I don't know. It's
What are his? Does he's done well in Formula 2? You
yeah,
said,
he's a
Andrew?
good driver.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
done really well.
Yeah.
So that's like bad on him because they're top 4 team this year.
Yeah, no. There's
They,
gonna be
they
a
have
few
potential to
next
be
year.
a top 3 next year,
Yeah.
possibly, if they can compete with Mercedes or Ferrari.
So
Yeah.
just to add fuel to the fire, the whole Piastri thing is that maybe McLaren approached him as well to like pull him away from Alpine.
Okay.
So I'm just reading up on this right now. It says, Otmar Safnauer says, his promise to us was to race with us if we put him in our car. So that's what we're pursuing. We're going to go to the CRB, which is like another like collective bargaining agreement kind of thing, I think. With the logic that next step is the logic that it is the logic that next step that you believe you have a valid contract with a driver, he signs something else. So I think what they're saying is if you have an agreement with the Piastri that he's going to be your driver, it's in writing or it's in verbal agreement.
Mm-hmm.
You put out a press release saying he's going to join you.
Yep.
He terminates that agreement to go somewhere else now. They're going to pursue like legal shit against Piastri.
Oh wow.
So like, what a can of worms. And I think that's only if he does end up signing with McLaren, which is another like rumor I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Because like he wants. I don't really follow F2 that often, but like
No, I don't follow it at all.
I think
Yeah.
he.
I follow a little bit.
People say that
Yeah,
he
yeah.
should be there. I think people say that he should
Oh
be
yeah,
an
he's a
F1
good driver. Yeah.
So he might have other, teams pursuing him. Like I said, McLaren could be pursuing him. Williams next year, maybe Latifi doesn't have a seat for next year,
I know he doesn't have a seat.
just to get someone into the sport. Which again, he was given the opportunity just now with a team that he's been with for years.
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
I don't get that either. But you know what though? Now this opens the door opportunity for other people.
Yeah.
No, it does.
Right?
Because
Like-
imagine this blows up in his face and doesn't go anywhere next year.
Man.
That would be hilarious.
Maybe the biggest fuck up of your career.
That would be hilarious.
It'd be a career, this would be
So
this could be a career ending
maybe
decision
does
for
he?
him.
Do you think that he has someone that runs his social media page?
No.
Piastri?
No.
So it's
No.
all just done by him, right? Because I know like
Oh.
all the F1 drivers have someone write all their shit
So-
for them, right?
So they would have not a lawyer, but like
A paralegal or
almost
something.
like a consultant
Okay.
that there's like that's to them.
Mhm.
I don't know how to describe it, but like, say I'm Piastri,
Mhm.
I have you, Liam, as my associate, so you basically watch out for me.
Oh,
So
you're like an agent.
Yeah, an
Like
agent.
An agent.
I can't say the
An
word.
agent?
So I gotta send you. I think the way it works,
I see.
I gotta send you what I type.
Uh-huh.
You gotta look at it,
You revise
Like
it.
an
revise it,
approval
and
shit.
approve it.
It's
Yeah,
like-
I
so you're
think.
basically doing it's like a PR check or something.
Yeah. I would assume. I could be wrong, but I would assume that's the way they do it, because if you make a mistake like that,
Mhm.
or a dumb mistake, you tweet,
Yeah.
you're
This
done.
guy's agent's just like, hey, buddy, you're not racing anywhere next year. You idiot.
Yeah. They all have agents. They have
Yeah.
a PR team. They're
Everything.
top of top.
Yeah, they are for sure. Cream of the crop.
So crazy.
So if we had Gasly though at McLaren next year, or I think the biggest talk is going to be where Pierre Gasly ends up next year.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
That's going to be the biggest thing because there's 4 spots open. So you got Gasly and Ricciardo that need to have drives next year. I guarantee you, Formula One won't let them.
yeah, Gasly will be there for
Or
sure.
could Ricciardo go to Alpine? Go back to Renault?
I mean, he could.
I think he's done.
It's
Yeah.
a better car
think
than
he's
it
done
was at
done?
I think
Renault.
he's done.
His Alpine car would be better than his Renault car would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
they're making strides this year.
He knows the team.
I think if Ricardo separates from the sport, if he does take a year off or take a break, he won't come back. Because he's such like his personality is so much more than just F1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he has other ventures in like clothing, and he has his like, own wine label. He has his own. He loves music. He loves to do all this other kind of shit. He likes to be. He's an adventurous, an extremist
Yeah.
guy. He likes to go skydiving. And,
Adrenaline junkie.
yeah, so like I think he would fill his time with a lot of other things other
I'm
than
sure he could
F1.
find some stuff to do. in
Would he
Australia.
miss driving?
$21 million too.
Yeah.
There you go. That doesn't
Yeah,
hurt.
very busy.
That doesn't hurt. But I think he does. He would miss the sport so much. Obviously,
Mhm.
I just don't know if taking a year off would be the best thing for him because I think he'd be so busy doing other things that he won't miss it as much as he thinks he might miss it.
Well, you don't train. You're not training either, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're not prepared for it.
I mean, I feel like he lives probably a pretty physical lifestyle. Like he cares.
Oh
about
yeah,
fitness
no, yeah.
and all that, right? So I don't think it would be the out of shape thing. Like
Yeah.
Kevin Magnussen said, it wasn't really hard for him to readapt to get back into the car this year.
Magnussen he's a beauty.
He is a beauty. I love that guy.
Yeah, I don't
K-Mag
know.
might not even be up next year.
Yeah, he's both of the
I think
Haas's.
they only
Haas.
signed both Haas's to
This
1
year?
year, right?
I think
Maybe we can get into where we have Audi confirming 2026 that they are going to be entering Formula One.
Oh, Magnussen is.
He's locked in, yeah, for next year.
Magnussen's locked in next year.
Just
So it's Mick, Zhou Guan Yu, Pierre Gasly. Oh, Pierre Gasly is locked in.
Oh, Russell too.
2023. Oh, but Pierre Gasly, I think he
might bounce though.
can
He might
bounce out
switch.
of that 2023 contract.
Yeah,
Russell's 1 year.
yeah, but I mean, why wouldn't he come back?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's what
Russell just
Nah,
leaves.
He's like, I don't want to race for this team.
I'm out of here. No, he's gonna be a lifer there. I think.
Yeah.
It's.
I did not think-
there's
I
a lot to
thought
play out
Gasly-
this year. Like
I
we
thought
love.
Gasly was done this year. Like 2022, that's it.
I just think with the direction the team's going, he might want to get out. I think that's a speculation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it might be indifferent to what Ricardo is, where they're terminating his contract and it's kind of getting sloppy. There might be a thing where he says like, "I got to get out of here," and they can come to terms. Maybe they might meet off
Mhm.
site somewhere, and they say, "Hey, okay, we'll give you this." Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be as messy as the Ricardo deal
Mhm.
has been.
Yeah.
They can kind of like mutually part ways. Wherever he goes next will just take on that contract for the year,
Okay.
and then they would like re-sign him for the next couple years. Whereas
You-
Ricardo like they had to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of like Carlos Sainz leaving the Red Bull family to go race for McLaren.
Yeah,
Cause
But it'd
he
be
was
like-
in
it'd be like a
he was
mutual
with
agreement,
Toro
like-
Rosso.
Yeah.
He raced for Toro Rosso and then left.
yeah. He started off there. Yeah, that Red Bull Academy like just bred drivers for the
Right.
longest time. Like
So there's
Like
potentially six new drivers next year. Potentially.
yes,
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet actually. Okay, that's
crazy.
pretty sweet.
I make no difference.
Was it last year? What we had 3 rookies last year? It was Mazepin, Schumacher, and Tsunoda. Were the 3 rookies last year?
yes.
And then this year we have 1. We have Zhou Guan
Show
Yu.
on you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, his seat's not even guaranteed.
He's on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Show up or get the fuck out. Like your first.
Well, I think
year,
a lot
like-
of those rookies are like
I
that.
think so too. Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah, the only guys locked up long term, like Verstappen until 28,
That's it.
Lando till 25.
Hamilton till 23.
That's next year. Yeah,
That's
Hamilton.
next year. Do you think he extends?
No.
Past 23? I don't know. Past next
Oh,
year.
But you gotta look. Okay, look, we do have another team. We have for sure Audi entering
2026, correct?
2026.
Yeah,
right?
but Audi
So,
entering, someone coming out?
I don't know.
Because there's no way it can
I
have
think
20.
that the Formula One is trying to fight to allow more teams into the sport
There shouldn't be, though.
because they're trying to fight Andretti, who wants to buy back into Formula One. There's no, we don't need any more.
Porsche
teams.
too. Porsche talks.
I think Porsche is going to do something with Red Bull.
I don't know.
I heard
I always thought that.
Porsche and Red Bull.
Hmm.
Do you imagine?
Yeah. I always thought only 20 teams or 10 teams were allowed, 20 drivers.
20 drivers. I don't know.
So if Audi, you would think Audi's coming in, someone's coming out.
I would think
You would-
it's either going to be
The Williams or the
Probably
Haas.
Williams or Haas. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that,
Audi.
that's the
Audi
least
is the
amount of money.
Volkswagen group. There's no shortage of money there.
Mm.
Yeah. There's been talks of Williams being done, too.
Yeah, you got to think though. Those are both like they're not corporationally owned.
They're privately
they're
owned.
Privately owned.
What?
places.
Well, they sold it to where did they go?
Americans.
Was it Americans? But
I thought
they just kept the
it was
Williams name
Americans.
to like just
Williams.
They sold. What is it? Who owns it now? Durilta?
No, maybe not. I don't think
It's
maybe
not. I know
American.
it's not the Williams
Oh.
family anymore.
Oh, I'll talk with Lewis bought into the Broncos. Denver Broncos.
Lewis
Yeah, I did
He's
see
part
that.
owner.
I did see
Really?
that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
That's why I thought.
Like the Denver Broncos, really?
Yeah. all teams are down to Dallas.
Did he buy into Chelsea, Andrew?
He has a partial stake in Chelsea too, which is kind of fucking stupid. Where's the money at then, bruv? Like, send us
Durilton
some money.
Capital. Okay, so you have Durilton, yeah.
Good pull, Liam.
Yeah, they own Williams. But I mean, if you verse that against Volkswagen Group, whose revenue last year was $250 billion.
Yeah.
Look up Durilton Corporation revenue 2021. I know for a fact that Volkswagen's like $250 billion last year.
Even that. So Gene Haas, he's the primary owner of Haas, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Haas, the corporation.
I think he might be done too.
Durilton Capital, $6.3 million revenue last year.
That's nothing.
That's
Latifi's accidents.
Oh, wait.
One,
Durilton estimate annual revenue is 43. Pardon?
that's Latifi's accidents.
43 million a year, Andrew?
Yeah.
That's what it says? 43 million a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, Volkswagen Group's $250 billion last year.
That's it?
And you know what Mercedes was? It was like $130 billion.
That's it?
Yeah. Volkswagen Group's way bigger than Mercedes. It's just Mercedes, right? Volkswagen has Audi.
Yeah.
What else do they have? Audi.
This is on you.
They have the actual Volkswagen.
Yeah.
There are a lot of BMW is a Volkswagen Group.
Are they?
I believe so.
Liam's just making shit up now.
No, I'm dead serious.
I'm not a car guy, so I don't
dead
know.
serious.
I'm not convinced.
They're
I
part
gave
of the
him floor.
Volkswagen Group. Here,
I gave him the floor. I'm not convinced.
I'll look it up right now.
Audi.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna work. 11 constructors, 22 driver potentially. Like
A lot.
that's gonna be a
Especially
hefty
if they're
grid.
back to the grid.
I just wonder, like, back in the day, like in the 70s, 80s, was there a cap on driver limit, like team limit?
There wasn't a cap, no, because
Like historically, I just don't know. Like, was there more than 10 teams?
that's recent.
in like 85.
Okay,
or
so
something, or, like-
Volkswagen owns.
That's recent.
yeah.
Volkswagen owns
Yeah.
Volkswagen commercial vehicles, Skoda, Seat, Cupra, Audi, Lamborghini, Bentley, Porsche, and Ducati.
Wow.
BMW.
No.
BMW is
'Cause
not.
you said BMW. I was
okay,
like, nah,
was
BMW.
comprehensively outbid by Volkswagen, so they did own them at one point.
Okay.
Yeah.
They own a
that's-
lot.
I was not being stupid.
They own a lot.
Volkswagen?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a massive corporation.
Skoda is huge in like Czech Republic. I always watch like the World Hockey Championships. There was like a Skoda.
Those Skoda, yeah. Those
Skoda.
Scandinavian, what are they called?
Dude,
Yeah.
Balkan-
Lamborghini,
the Balkans.
Bentley, and Porsche though,
Yeah, that's low key pretty good.
and Ducati.
Ducati, wouldn't that be Ferrari?
Those
you
are
think?
those sick bikes.
What do you think is Ferrari?
No.
No,
That's the one you think it though.
you think it's an Italian bike? Is it an Italian bike, Ducati?
Probably is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it's owned by the Germans.
Zes Germans.
They took it from us.
Germans.
Volkswagen.
Das Auto.
Und in Steven.
Das Auto. What else happened in the summer break?
It was long. It was way too fucking.
It was way too long. We returned to
Sorry.
racing today, which is
God.
fucking nice. And if you guys want to
Finally.
check out our race
Check
reaction,
out our, yes.
we did a spa breakdown earlier today. It's going to release today, probably tomorrow. I don't know. So you can like that, like this,
Yeah.
subscribe, all that jazz.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have racing back, dude.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, this is crunch time. This is my favorite part of Formula 1. I love when it's like November or it's like October. It's cold. And
Oh
you
my
get to,
God, I
you
can't
still
wait.
get to watch Formula
In
1.
the sun.
I can't wait.
The beautiful backcountry of
Of Windsor, Ontario.
yeah. So let's just go quickly over the next 9 races
Mhm.
left.
Yep. 9 more races, Frankie.
9 more
So
races.
we have Zandvoort,
Monza.
Monza. Frankie's in Monza.
He'll be there at the race,
We'll be there
recording
at the
for
race,
us.
Right,
Where I
Frankie?
have a BRZN on-scene representative giving live.
Don't tease me, Frank. You better fucking go.
Oh, Singapore's coming up too, eh?
So Netherlands.
I love Singapore.
So Netherlands, that's the what do you call that?
Zandvoort?
Zandvoort, yeah. Zandvoort. Then we're in Italy and Monza.
Yep.
Then we go to the
Netherlands,
Singapore Grand Prix.
Singapore is after Monza.
Yep.
Then
Japan.
back to Japan.
Suzuka.
Back to Japan.
Yep.
They were there last year, right?
Nope.
No, they were not.
Nope. Japan. Then we come to the beautiful Great White South of the United States.
Great White South.
No. Great White South.
So
Austin, Texas?
the
Austin,
Great White
Texas?
South.
So this is.
Oh my god.
Then we're in the beautiful backcountry of Mexico. Perez's home race. Interlagos.
I do like.
Then Abu Dhabi.
You know what? So Qatar is not happening this year.
No, it's first race of the year.
Qatar? Oh, it was Bahrain. They're not in Qatar, eh? So I guess Qatar was a one and done last year.
Mm-hmm.
What was
Yeah.
Qatar? What was that Grand Prix?
That was last year. It was before Jeddah.
Really?
It was all
Yeah.
flipped last year, right? They did Qatar and Jeddah.
I
towards the
don't
end of
think the
end of
drivers
race.
liked Qatar. It's actually it's a bike track. Like
I'm trying to remember what it even looked like.
motorcycles.
It was like, was it a street track? It wasn't a street track. Was
No,
it?
but it was the bike. It was it was really narrow to track. The track.
Mm.
It's
I don't like
'cause it was a
that.
bike track. Yeah.
Doesn't allow passing, man. These street tracks, they're fun. They're technical.
Yeah. I like.
I love
Mexico.
Singapore. I think it's
The
a really
Mexico
cool
main
track.
straight is fucking.
Mexico's
So
epic.
Yeah.
I think what I think is cool about Mexico is it's such a long lunge to the first corner.
Yeah.
So all the cars can get up to speed. Everyone's getting a tow and going into that first. Like you remember even last year where it was Perez, Bottas, Hamilton, Verstappen, and
Four wide in
Verstappen
the
just
corner.
came right on
Four
right to the
breasts.
outside. It was great.
Breast.
Four breasts.
Yeah, that's a sick track. I mean, the races that we have remaining, Monza is Monza. Like
Brazil's
you
gonna
can't
be
beat
cool.
it. Brazil, epic history there for sure. Japan again too, a history. So like we have a lot of exciting races to get to.
We do.
Zandvoort is going to be like just another level of Verstappen dominance, I would think,
Yeah.
in front of the home crowd.
He's
again.
going to the next 2 races, I think, for sure.
You think he'll win Monza too?
Yeah, he'll win Monza. That fast track like that.
I think that Ferrari's going to win Monza. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think Ferrari will win Monza. I honestly, I don't think they'll win another race unless it's Monza.
Ooh.
Let's do a little bit of a not a bet, but let's see. If
Oh, yeah.
Ferrari wins at Monza this year,
You're going to be there
we're gonna go to the race next year.
in Monza.
Somewhere
Okay.
other than Canada, we're going to a race next year.
All right.
You're going to first year,
I would like to go to Texas.
but Leclerc's got to win. No, actually, no, it doesn't matter who wins. So.
Wait, in Monza?
Yeah, no.
That Leclerc win in Monza like a couple
Yeah.
years ago, that was
That's
epic.
the best.
I think it's
That was the best day of my life.
I think
Incredible.
Even the day my kids are born.
Ferrari's gonna have to take it home in Monza.
Oh yeah.
I think. they're
Well,
gonna
the
win.
pressure that's going to be on them to perform there too, right? It's going to
But
be.
I
a
don't
lot.
think they're gonna take Japan. I don't think they're gonna take Singapore. Singapore is a very windy, tight.
That's a Red
cornery
Bull track.
That's a Red Bull
No,
track for sure.
Singapore.
Yeah.
I think it's more Ferrari track.
No, I'd say it's more Red Bull.
I think. Well, historically, it's been more Red Bull track. It's like.
Yeah.
I
Red Bull's
just.
aero package is ridiculous.
Yeah, I just picture like tight little circuits to be like really good for Red Bull.
Yeah.
I know this year they've been more powered, like dominant,
Yeah,
but
Which
historically,
which is weird for them.
yeah, it's kind of a flip flop. I think
Didn't Leclerc lead a couple laps up last year in Singapore?
They didn't have Singapore.
they didn't have
last year.
Singapore last year. They didn't do any Asian races last year. I don't think.
Yeah.
Where
They
did
did
he lead
nothing
at?
in Japan, nothing in China, no Singapore.
All the Asian races on the circuit last year were gone. They're supposed to go to Thailand.
Oh, I'm
last
thinking
year.
of Baku.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Baku.
Yeah, Baku.
Oh, Thailand was supposed to be one too. And South Africa. That's coming.
That's coming up. Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna come too.
And we saw even last year, like the Red Bull in the U.S. last year, not a track that they typically
Yeah.
were good at. They
Mhm.
won.
Well, Miami.
Yeah, Miami would be cool to go to. Go to
Or
Miami.
go to Vegas,
the
boys.
race next. I think that the Miami tickets, like for a weekend pass, was like $6 or $7 grand American.
Vegas though.
Really?
Vegas next year. I forgot about
Vegas,
Vegas next
yeah.
year. That's gonna
Oh,
be.
did you guys
Oh.
know after was it this year Miami Grand Prix where all the celebrities were there? So they banned from the paddock or like the grid. Like, I don't know if they did the grid or whatever it was. They banned security guards.
Really?
Yeah. Any
They
famous
banned
person.
security guards?
Yeah, any famous person can have a security guard there.
Really?
Yep,
I didn't know that.
that's a new thing.
Why?
Yeah,
Because what happened with what was her name? When Brondo was doing the grid walk.
Oh,
Oh,
and Serena Williams.
No.
Sister.
was it her?
I think it was
No,
her
those-
sister. Wasn't he trying to interview her?
Yeah, he was.
And then the girl just, like,
yeah.
kept walking.
Yeah,
And
Yep.
He's like, all right, yeah, I'll go fuck myself down here.
yep. So yeah, no more security guards.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I'll go fuck myself down here.
That's what Martin said on the grid walk. I'd
Serena, can I? Okay, I'll go fuck myself.
No,
down here.
what's her name? Not Serena. What's her...
I
Venus?
don't know who it
Venus,
is.
yeah.
Phoenix?
No,
Phoenix Williams.
Venus.
It's Venus?
Venus.
Venus,
Williams.
like the planet.
like the bird from
Well,
Harry
Phoenix.
Potter.
Like Arizona.
All right, boys, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap it up, everyone.
Liam,
Well,
take it
Frankie,
away.
it was great having you in the flesh.
Good to
in
see you.
human form.
Yeah, I'm a real person. Nice.
He's here.
Welcome. All right, guys.
Yes.
Till
Good time.
next time. We will see you next weekend.
Sounds good.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.